Guys, Jake Gyllenhaal from MindSpains.com, and today we're going to make some cool Halloween stuff. Definitely too much smoke, but it's going to be dope. So I appreciate you guys coming, following, and today we're going to do some really cool Halloween stuff, Halloween designs to help out your business or anything you're airbrushing or just some cool special effects. So now I'm just spraying some like spray adhesive on there. And then I really push it firm with my hands to place it on there, make sure it's on there perfectly. So now I'm using this gray. This is the Payne Grey by Wicked. And I'm just going through the lines and just being careful. I'm spraying at a 50 like PSI, maybe even 60 actually. That's probably 60. And I'm outlining everything nice and keeping like the lines really tight. I go a little slower at this part so I don't flood the stencil, and you know, it doesn't like drip off and everything and just make the whole hat all messed up. So you notice I'll move around and then I'll go like in the center and then the outside in the center. Well, I do that so the paint can dry, and then I move back to the spot to make it darker and more opaque. It's a, you know, a little trick I learned to get it done faster. And then now I'm kind of going over the lines again, and I'm being more deliberate so it's heavier paint. Just go back and forth. I keep on moving the gun, just never flooding in an area. And adding some dagger strokes, and then I added some skulls in here. So I have a skull template on my website. I use this like 80% of the time because people just love it. If you put like this crazy skull pile in there, it makes it look like you've done a lot of work. And what I'm doing is just repositioning the stencil and moving it back and forth. So that's not the same group of skulls in the same area, you know. I like to do that and make it like, you know, more realistic. And then I'm going over the design again, same area. Adding a little stencil right there, little skull right there. So now I'm going over all the skull again. Same thing right here. Just adding the skull in different spots, repositioning it. And I'm doing this freehand. You can use, you know, spray adhesive here if you want to, and I actually do recommend doing that. I'm just, you know, moving it so I can move it faster and get it good done quicker. I do that a lot so I can just knock out orders back to back to back. I don't get all like, you know, backed up. Going over the skull again. And really adding some like detail in the skull. So you see I lightly mist around the circle parts and circle area. And then, you know, add all the detail in there at the end. Sharpening up the lines like right there at the top of the skull, like making it sharper and sharper. And you can go crazy if you want to or not. I usually get these done in about less than, you know, 5 minutes. But if you have time, I usually do that too. I take my time on, you know, if I don't have a lot of orders, and then make it look really like super sick and detailed, just to keep, you know, people coming back. So I do the top of the hat the same way, adding the skulls in there and all the little parts in there and everything. Moving the skull, repositioning it. Spraying over that again, making it nice and like opaque, nice and black. And this is actually the Payne Grey, so I'm using Payne Grey for this entire black. It looks black, but it has like a nice gray in between. And then I'm tearing off, or just not tearing off, but removing the stencil. And then I'm gonna come in here and like lightly mist some color around the skull. Checking the gun, making sure it works good. So these nice, soft dagger strokes I'm adding in here. And then I'm, ad-libbing some stuff too. So I'll draw lines that's not in the stencil just because I get bored easily and I want to, do something a little more detailed. So that's a great thing. You can even finish it. I mean, if you're pretty good at drawing, you can add stuff, and that's really the cool part. Shading up the lines, making it nice and sharp. And I love using these templates, man. Like, whenever I have my designs and I go places, we just kill it, because it's different than everything else that's out there. I'm not just talking airbrushing or painting. I'm just talking about it's different than every other thing anybody can buy out there. Like, if you do festivals, everyone's had this design or that design, but this is totally unique, and that's why I love it. I think it's so cool. Now I'm adding sepia right here. Just like a nice sepia tone. Just shading in the bottom of the teeth. I guess the light's going to the right, so I'm always shading the right side heavier. I usually drag, when I airbrush, I usually drag the color off the black, and that gives me a nice, closer, sharp line. Because you can't see it under the black. And then now I'm just freehanding some little dashes and little side, dashes. Just give it more depth. Coloring in the nose, filling that in. And just lightly misting around the sides. And then I'll come in when I'm doing a stroke, and then I'll make it nice and sharp. Just adding some more lines, blending it in. So you see, I don't notice it, but I'm moving the hat, and I'm going back and forth a bunch of different times. It just happens. So I can let one area dry and then go back and then add more detail on top of that. So I mean, if you're new at first, just fill it in as best you can, and it still looks awesome if you just do solid color shading, solid fills. And if you can blend, that's even better. Just, it makes it look even cooler. And see, so I did the nice sharp dagger strokes, and then I'll fill it in with like a gradient blend. And I was going heavier at that time. So I'm just moving the hat, going back and forth, just balancing all the color out, and making sure each side was painted like the last side. So I'm adding white right here, and this makes it pop from the background. This is really important to do because it breaks the entire hat. It makes somebody attracted to it, because the white contrasts whatever dark color you're using so well that you can, see it from far away. And it makes it look so cool, pretty much frames it. So I go over with white, and then sometimes I drag down white to make a little flame or something, so it's not just the stencil, you're painting the entire hat, and it's totally different. Adding some more skulls on the bill. Just shading it in. And I'm only using a couple colors, like white, sepia, that Payne Grey. And that's it. And then that little bit of blue, but, even when you don't use a lot of colors, you can still make something look cool. So yeah. That's my tutorial, guys. Later.
So I appreciate it, guys, for checking out my channel. Subscribe, you know, drop a comment if you have any questions. Let me know what kind of monster designs and what kind of, you know, designs you like. And if you want to get any of these templates, any stencils to help out your business or just help you airbrush, check out my link below. I'll have it in the, you know, description section, and I'll have it at the top of the comment section, so you can get some really dope stencils and really dope templates to help you out this Halloween and just make some money and you know, just make some cool stuff. I'll see you again, and happy Halloween. Later.